Hey everyone, and welcome right into today's explainer. We are taking a comprehensive, deep dive into India's rapidly evolving safety net for workers in 2026. Whether you're a salaried corporate employee, a freelance delivery partner, or working in construction, the entire landscape of worker protections is shifting massively right now. Getting a handle on how this works is absolutely critical for all of us.
But before we get totally bogged down in the policy details, I want you to just take a second and ask yourself, what actually happens when you can no longer work? It's kind of a heavy thought, right? Whether it's because of some unexpected injury, reaching old age, needing to take time off for childbirth, or just facing the sudden, unpredictable instability of the modern gig economy, literally every single worker faces vulnerabilities. And that is exactly where a robust welfare system steps in to catch you before you fall.
So let's establish our baseline concept here so we're all starting on the exact same page. Labor welfare is not just about your paycheck. It encompasses all the services, facilities, and benefits that are designed to improve a worker's physical, mental, social, and economic well-being. The true essence of welfare extends way beyond just the wages you take home. It's about ensuring dignity, security, and a decent quality of life, both inside and outside the workplace.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. First, the safety net explained. 2. Major schemes, EPF and ESI. 3. Unorganized and gig worker protections. 4. Empowering women and migrants. And finally, number 5, challenges and the future.
Let's jump right into Section 1. The safety net explained, building a stable foundation.
You know, what's really fascinating to me about this is how welfare mutually benefits both the employee and the employer. It's a total win-win situation. For workers, obviously, it means improved living standards and social justice. But think about what employers get out of it. Increased productivity, reduced labor turnover simply because workers tend to stay where they feel valued, and overall industrial harmony. We're talking less conflict and more cooperation. Ultimately, it's a real investment in human capital, not just another business expense.
Moving on to Section 2. Major schemes, EPF and ESI, the pillars of traditional welfare.
All right, let's briefly demystify these acronyms because they get thrown around a lot. EPF, or the Employees Provident Fund, is essentially your long-term retirement savings vehicle, and it's funded by regular contributions from both you and your employer. Then you've got ESI, which is the Employee State Insurance. That provides comprehensive health care and cash benefits for times of sickness or injury. Now, these two act as the foundational pillars of the formal sector, but there's a crucial third pillar we need to talk about, PMSYM, the Pradhan, Mantri, e-Shram, Yogi, Maandhan. This is where the umbrella really begins to expand, offering a guaranteed monthly pension to unorganized sector workers who previously had absolutely no retirement safety net at all.
That brings us to Section 3, unorganized and gig worker protections, widening the umbrella.
So historically, informal workers just couldn't get benefits because, frankly, they weren't visible in the system. The e-Shram portal fixes that by creating a massive national database. And the process is wonderfully straightforward. Step 1, you provide your Atal. Step 2, you link your mobile number and your bank account. And Step 3, you receive a universal account number, or UAN. This very simple digital process is exactly how millions are finally gaining a verifiable identity so they can actually access these critical welfare programs.
Now, think about the reality of the 2026 workforce for a second. The contrast is pretty striking. Traditional employees operate with formal contracts and mandatory EPF and ESI coverage. But then we have gig workers, right? Delivery personnel, ride-hailing drivers, platform freelancers. For a really long time, they existed in this vulnerable, kind of gray area without any employer-sponsored benefits. However, through the emerging Social Security Code, policy is finally catching up to the digital economy. We are seeing specific protections brought in, like health insurance coverage and accident protection, that are designed to fit the flexible, on-the-go nature of platform work.
Let's turn to Section 4, empowering women and migrants, targeted protections.
We really need to examine these critical provisions for women. First off, paid maternity leave. This allows women to recover and care for their newborns without the massive stress of losing their income or their job. Then, we have mandatory creche facilities at or near the workplace, which basically means having a child doesn't have to abruptly end a career. Combine all of this with strict workplace safety measures against harassment plus equal pay provisions, and you get a framework purposefully designed to promote genuine gender equality. It dramatically reduces career interruptions for women.
And what about folks who have to move for work? Migrant worker support now heavily features the One Nation, One Ration card, alongside portable e-Shram benefits. This is huge because it brilliantly illustrates how the safety net now physically moves with the worker. Whether you're building high-rises in Mumbai or you're harvesting crops in Punjab, your benefits don't just suddenly stop the minute you cross a state border. It's a literal game changer for labor mobility and security.
All right, our final stop is Section 5, Challenges and the Future. What lies ahead?
Because the truth is, millions still do miss out, and there are very clear reasons why. Lack of awareness is a massive hurdle. I mean, you simply can't claim a benefit you don't even know exists. Then there's the sheer staggering size of the large informal sector, coupled with administrative barriers like super complex paperwork, and resource constraints at the welfare boards themselves. Honestly, this is precisely why explainers like the one we're doing right now are so essential. Bridging that awareness gap is step number 1 to actual tangible empowerment for these workers.
But we really shouldn't lose sight of how far we've actually come. Trace this timeline with me. Back in 1948 and 1952, the whole foundation was laid with the Factories Act, ESI, and EPF. Fast forward to 2020, and dozens of really messy, overlapping laws were finally streamlined into 4 consolidated labor codes. And now here we are in 2026, living in the era of digital platforms like e-Shram and direct benefit transfers. This means routing money straight into workers' bank accounts without any middlemen. It is an absolutely incredible evolution from old paper ledgers to true digital empowerment.
So the crucial takeaway today is this. A nation prospers when its workforce thrives. That is the ultimate goal of all these policies, from the EPF all the way to gig worker insurance. It's not just charity. It is the economic engine of inclusive growth. When workers are healthy, secure, and respected, the entire country moves forward.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on. Are these 2026 reforms actually enough to protect the future of work? As the digital economy, AI, and automation continue to shift the landscape even further, the safety net is going to have to keep evolving to make sure it catches everyone. So, what do you think? Thank you so much for joining me and engaging with this explainer today. Keep learning, keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you in the next one.